Okay, looks like we are live. I think we are live. Just checking. All right, there we go. All right, well, welcome everyone, or anyone. This is Brian, aka Texas Treasures, and I have finished my work today early and decided to do an impromptu live, unscheduled, unplanned. Don't even think anyone's out there, but if you have anybody out there has any questions, let's talk about eBay. I figure we could do it. It's Friday afternoon. How was everybody's week reselling? How was everyone's week reselling? How's January been? And yeah, if you got any questions, eBay questions, drop them in the chat, and we can chat and we can talk about it. I know for me, actually January's been pretty good. Like I think I'm up like 30 something percent. Kind of made some changes to the business model. Um, yeah. So hopefully, no, a couple weeks ago I had Josh on. He couldn't make it today. I think he's going to be back here next week. We got to figure out a regular. Um, Josh sells a lot of women's jeans, clothing in general. He also does some books. As for me, I'm primarily clothing and shoes, and lately it's just been clothing, and I've been focusing more on men's clothing, and that has been paying off. Um, I think one of the big changes I've made that's helping increase my sales is pricing. I noticed like my sell through rate, it isn't where I wanted it to be, and so as I'm listing new items now, I have a Terapeak tab open, and I'm searching and I'm looking at the median average sell price, especially if it's a bread and butter item. If it's a Banana Republic sweater, um, if I'm getting it for a couple bucks, and my cost of goods is pretty low, so if I get it for a couple bucks, I'm okay selling it for $12.99 plus shipping, $13.99 plus shipping. Oh, and moving that, and I'm seeing that things are starting to sell a lot faster. And I do want to talk about shipping. Um, there's been a change, I think, this week on eBay as far as shipping goes, a positive change. And so we're doing 35 a day right now this week. Next week we go up to 36 per day. And I'm also like today I ended my 65 oldest eBay listings. I sold similar. I double checked titles. I double checked prices, made sure there were no errors, and I relisted those too. And I'm seeing that some of that stuff is selling as well. So I'm really trying to speed up the sell through rate on my store. Um, so on shipping, I've used Pirate Ship in the past, and one of the keys about Pirate Ship is they have the cubic rate shipping. So if you're shipping something in a poly bag, you just put the length and the width, um, and that third dimension is one. But when you're trying to do volume and you're shipping out a lot of items per day, it's kind of tedious, even though Pirate Ship does sync and import eBay data. So eBay finally got with a program, and today while I was shipping, um, let me show you. Let's see here. It might be easier to show. I'm going to share the screen. I wish I should have done this while I was shipping today. It would have been better. Okay, let's do this. We're going to share the screen. Now, I can give you an example on something that's um, something that has, can't talk and do things at the same time, apparently. Something that sold since I shipped a little bit earlier. All right. So here's eBay. Let's go to, as you can see, like my sales are up 37, almost 38%. And this was precipitated by like horrible sales last month, which really freaked me out. So I knew I had to make some changes. But if you go under awaiting shipment, let me pick an item to demonstrate the change that eBay's made with shipping. eBay now is doing calculated shipping, which is advantageous. So let's take these Nike Air Pegasus that sold. Um, so if you go to purchase shipping label, and this works really well with clothing. But anything you can put in a poly bag, but you could put shoes. You could even put shoes in a box in a poly bag. So let's say these shoes weighed 3 pounds, and let's say they went into the standard eBay shoe box, and let's see what 3 pounds, 8 by 5 by 15. You can see priority mail is 1305. They're not going to fit in a flat rate envelope, so that ain't going to work. You could do USP ground advantage for 909. That would be your best option. Now let's test this. What if these are shipping in a poly mailer? So you're going to put in the length and the width. In the third dimension, I guess the depth, you're only going to put one because it's a poly mailer, and it's the dimensions before you actually ship. As you can see right here, the USP ground advantage is cheaper now. It dropped to 715. I forgot what it was, but it was more than that. So there's an example. Let's look at another one of my items. Um, and I am really getting rid of some of these women's jeans. I had women's jeans that are 2 or 3 years old when I was buying in bulk, and I don't care. I just want them gone. I want the space so I can get better items. But let's take these jeans. Let's say they I don't know, a pair of Hollister jeans are probably a pound or less, but let's just say they're 1 pound, 8 ounces. And let's say, I don't know, you would never ship these in a box, but let's say for some reason you were shipping it in a box. Notice that this is not 1 inch. So your options are 882 for priority or 716 for advantage. But let's change this to a poly mailer. And we're just going to change that to a 15 by 12 poly mailer. And look at this, the ground advantage, what was it, 716? It dropped to 672. Now, that's not a major savings, but like I saw it this morning on some of my items, it was as much as $3, $4, $5 in savings. And if you're shipping out 20, 30, 40, 50 or more packages a day, this money adds up. Even 50-cent savings, it really adds up. Um, let's look at one more. Look, what is this? Carol Reed jacket. I don't even know why I bought this. I think I picked it up at the bins. Let's say 4 pounds in a box. It's 1540 priority. That's outrageous. USPS ground advantage is 962. And I was even using quite a bit of UPS ground when I was shipping a lot of shoes in a box. So 962 or 1063. Let's say it's the same weight. And actually, it's going to be a little bit less, right? These are going to be less because you don't have the weight of a box. Let's just say the box weighs 5 ounces. So a 3 pound 11 going in a poly mailer. Where'd it go? USPS ground advantage 715. See, it dropped again. So I guess the takeaway is eBay is now incorporating cubic shipping. And here, let me close that. Stop that screen. And the cubic shipping will save you money. So the key to that is you put the height and the width. and that third dimension you leave at 1. It's got to be going in a Polymer. Like, you can't put that if you're shipping it in a box. That's what cubic shipping is. It's shipping something in a Polymer. Even if it's a box inside the Polymer, you can still do that. So that's pretty cool. And when you look on your eBay sales page, at the top it shows you your gross sales, your net sales, your selling cost, and shipping is one of the bigger parts of the selling cost. So if you're lowering that, you're going to be lowering your cost in total and making more profit, which is ultimately the end goal. So the cubic shipping is a pretty good deal. Let's see. Tommy's saying boxes are cubic as well. Anything less than 12 by 12 by 6 goes cubic. Okay, wasn't aware of that, but I'll take your word for it. I know Tommy has lots of experience with the shipping, but I know for the Polymellers, they work like a charm. And since most of my stuff is clothing or even the shoes, like, I'm also shipping shoes and Polymellers unless it's a very expensive shoe or something that might get damaged in a Polymeller. And I've had zero negative feedback. Tommy says he ships 8 by 6 by 4 cubic all the time. All right, that's good to know. Whether Polymeller or box, but well, here's the thing, Tommy. But like on those examples, I put in box dimensions on a couple of them, and when I changed it to the Polymeller dimensions, it was substantially cheaper. So what you're saying, I believe you, but the Polymellers are gonna, if you can fit it in a Polymeller, it's gonna be a cheaper option than even those box dimensions. So if you're a clothing seller, you're shipping jeans. Matter of fact, today I had a really good sell. Here's another thing that I've done recently. I was talking about pricing at the very beginning. So I'm pricing at market. I'm pricing lower now. I'm taking off offers. And I'm not even promoting unless something doesn't sell for like 60 days. But I did add this coupon in. It's a discount coupon where if you buy 2 items, you get the third one for free. And I'm starting to see really good results with that. Today, somebody bought 6 pairs of jeans. They were all Wrangler, like the 13 MWZs, like those Wrangler Western cut cowboy jeans. And so when I looked at the order detail, and they do them in threes, right? Because I've got buy 2, get 1 free. So that's a bundle. But they did 2 different bundles. In each of those bundles, even with the free shipping, and not the free shipping, with the free third item, including free shipping on that item, I made like $75 on both of those bundles. So when you put that together, I made $150. I was able to ship those in a box. I did a 12 by 6 by 6 box, and I think USPS Ground Advantage, it was $10 or $12. So I made a really healthy profit because those jeans I think I got for $1 each. It was great. So I'm really trying to push that lever of growing a really big store and having people buy multiple quantity items where they can get a lot of items. And people love seeing these promotions, buy one, get one half off, buy 2, get 1 free. And if you do the math, buy 2, get 1 free, it's a 33% off. So I said, instead of doing a store coupon, I'm going to encourage people to buy multiple quantity because then I make money on shipping. On that first bundle, it came out to $19.90 was the shipping. On the second bundle, it was the same thing. So basically, they paid $40 of shipping, but I think it cost me 10 to 12 to ship. So I'm really excited about that approach, and I want to see what it's how that pans out for me. Tommy says yes because it's less dimensional weight. Yeah, that exactly. Yeah, that totally makes sense. So I guess the smaller that third dimension, obviously, the better, right? So the Polymeller's the best. Tommy says, did you bump that coupon to slot 1? Whatever coupon I set as priority usually does way better because buyers don't see them unless they find the section with all the offers. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I sure did. And so let me show you or anyone else that might be curious like how to do this. Probably be a good video to make. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen. A little lag time. Okay. So if you go into marketing promotions under your seller's hub, and I'm going to do active. And this is what Tommy was talking about. Like, as you can see, I have all these, I've got different promotions. Like I got my women's stuff. I'm really discounting my women's clothing, trying to just get that out of there because I don't want to deal with that much anymore. And then I do have 2 shipping things, but I don't think this one actually even works. $15 shipping when you buy 3. So I need to actually end that because what Tommy was saying, see how that was priority 2? Priority 1 is the one that's going to get highlighted. And this is where I created the shipping discount, which when you click on it, and you can see I've had it'll pull this up in your store, buy 2, get 1 free with, and here's the code and all the terms. And when you click on your items, well, it won't show it here, but like when the customer clicks on it, it'll also show that. So it's going to encourage them to go shopping and to buy three items at a time. So that's exactly what Tommy was talking about. And if you have multiple like coupons, or see, that's a coupon. If you have multiple coupons, you can change the display priority over here. And number 1 is going to be the one that's going to take priority, obviously. So that's what Tommy was talking about. And he is absolutely correct. Let's see. Tommy says that's a good video. No one talks about advanced eBay. Yeah, I need it. Matter of fact, I'm going to jot that down. I know today I did make a video earlier about free. Should you incorporate free returns on eBay? Pros and cons. And no big takeaway here, but my conclusion was yes. And then I went over all the reasons why. So yeah, I'm trying to do more of the advanced eBay stuff. I like the way you described that, advanced eBay. Because and this is what I've noticed on my channel and just talking to people, is that many people don't really know how to use eBay to its full utilization. Obviously, Tommy does. Tommy's very knowledgeable. So what was my note? How to use shipping coupons, or it could really be any type of coupon. But mine's set up as a shipping coupon or order discount. Buy 2, get 1 free. And obviously, selling more items you can ship out at once, because if you think about shipping, most of your shipping, you're paying for that first item. And then whatever you can add to it, it definitely doesn't cost you as much to add an item in most cases. All right. So how are you doing, Tommy? I know you've got the shoes. I think last time we talked, you were talking about what, staying the same or maybe selling more, but with less work. I really like that model. I'm kind of focusing on the efficiency. Like today, I did get up early. I woke up at 5. I usually get up at 6. I pulled my orders. I did my shipping. I photographed 43 items for my VA. I have a virtual assistant, and I upload those pictures on a separate dedicated computer, and she uses my Google Remote Access to access that computer. And I've trained her actually through StreamYard, or you could do it through Zoom. She's well trained at this point, so she can create listings for any type of shoes, women's clothing, men's clothing. So I take the pictures, I do the measurements, I bag and SKU the inventory. Behind me, you can see that box. That was some of the ones we photographed today. And then once I finish that, I then come and she schedules those listings, and then I go and I review them. Sometimes we meet to go over it in person. Sometimes if like there's a small error or an improvement, I will do a short video and send it to her. But I would say she's probably like 95% accurate at this point. So it doesn't take long. And then my main thing, she's actually pretty good at the pricing too. I just double check the price because I'm really trying to price things to move right now, especially bread and butter stuff. And I launched those. And then I also, today, I took my 65 oldest items, I ended them. And then I sold similar, but double checking and proofing. And I did all that and I was finished. I think I was finished by like noon. So I really have the time to really increase my daily listings, but we're trying to add one per day per week. So by the end of the year, we should be in the 80s. And if my sell through rate holds true, then those sales should be pretty good. Let's see. Tommy says the weighting of free returns seems to be drastically increased. Oh, okay, yeah. Tommy's talking about the algorithm. Yeah, and that was one of the reasons I said you should do it on the video is it kind of well the algorithm they're comparing sellers, right? Like if I'm selling let's say a Levi's Pearl Snap shirt and Tommy's selling the same one and we're both top rated, everything's the same, the price is the same. Whichever seller is offering free returns, 30 or 60-day free returns, um, their eBay is going to weight that more favorably, and their item is going to show up higher in the search results. And the higher your item is in the search results, obviously, the more eyes, the more clicks, the more sales. And there's a lot of other reasons. So if you're out there watching and you're not doing free returns on clothing at least, I would check out that video and look at all the reasons you might want to reconsider. All right. Tommy says the price versus median sold has had the biggest increase in waiting. That's what is killing most people now. List high with best offer. Yeah, they're gone. Yeah. And that's a very astute point, Tommy. That's what I had been doing, and it used to work a lot better. Price high because you'll see it's tempting, right? When you're looking at Terapeak or when you're looking at solds on eBay, you'll see some that sell for a good amount of money. And a lot of people, including myself, your thought process is, well, I want to get that money. So let me price there. But what you got to realize is that waiting that Tommy's talking about, if you're priced high, you're probably not going to show up on the top of the search results. And then a lot of customers are going to sort those results lowest to highest, right? So yeah, those days of doing that are long gone now. If there's a lot of caveats there, right? Now, if we're talking about competition, now if you've got something that's unique and there's not very many items in the market, then yeah, you can still price it a little bit higher. But once again, there is a market price, and if you go above it, then people aren't going to pay it. And like I'm noticing now, I'm getting a lot more of my items that are selling same day listing or same week because I'm not trying to price it too high. And another change I've made this week, this was before I figured out the cubic shipping, is I raised my 1 pound or under shipping price to $7.99. I've seen a lot of people that I've noticed a lot of people had higher shipping charges, and didn't seem to hurt their sales. And so I'm making a little bit more on profit, especially when you couple that with the cubic shipping we were just talking about. So that's just more money you can make off of the shipping. And at the same time, I do have the offers buy two, get one free, so I can still take care of my customer. I just encourage them when they message me. I'm like, hey, I've got 46 or 4,700 items in my store currently. Tell me what you're looking for. I can send you a link of everything in that size. And if you buy two of them, you get the third free. So it's a good point, Tommy. Tommy says, unless I have priority mail and you have ground advantage when you're both equal distance from the buyer. Yeah, talking about, and the distance from the buyer is another variable. There are lots of variables. That's a good one. I didn't even think about that. But assuming we're in the same rough distance, really good point. Hey, there's my buddy Clay. Clay's Closet, Clay Can, Clay's Caddy, the man, the myth, the legend. What's going on, Clay? Yeah, I'm trying to get back into doing lives. It's kind of hard doing it by yourself. I was like, you know what? Let's just get on here and talk. Tommy says, I'm that weirdo that reads their white sheets when I'm soaking in the tub. Oh, man. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So shipping. So there's been some big changes in shipping. And so if you offer free shipping, man, well, here's the thing. Let's say I have a shirt, customer pays 15, let's just say plus 7 shipping. Well, it's $7.99 for me, plus 8 shipping. So they're $23 all in on the shirt. They get it. All right. And then there's seller B. Let's say Tommy. Tommy listed this from his bathtub, right? While he was soaking. And he listed the same shirt, $23 free shipping. Because that price is the same. This is true. But if the customer wants to return my item because it doesn't fit, fine. I send them the free label. They send it back. I'll refund the $15, but not the original shipping because it does not fit. The only time I would return that original shipping if it's a true INAD, an item not as described. I missed a flaw. I missed something. But if you do free shipping, it comes back. You got to return all $23. You can't deduct the shipping because you built the shipping into the price of your item. So there's another reason I wouldn't do free shipping, but I think it's better to charge for shipping, at least on pre-owned clothing and shoes. Now, in some niches, the market kind of dictates that you really need to do free shipping. But as far as I'm talking used clothing, used shoes, and so you don't need to do that. So you can make money on the shipping in a lot of different ways. Yeah, Clay, I don't know if you heard earlier. I was talking that eBay has now incorporated cubic shipping into their shipping prices, and it's substantially cheaper, especially in a poly mailer. And Tommy was talking about you could also do it in a box. Tommy says free shipping doesn't seem to have a bump anymore. Overall cost is factored now. ABS finally caught on. It seems free returns is the key. Yep, exactly. Free returns is the key, and the customer is going to have more confidence in your item because, to be honest, like I wouldn't buy from a seller if they don't offer returns, and ideally free returns. You can offer buyer pays returns, but the free returns gives you a lot of other benefits. You get the 10% final value fee discount if you're top rated seller, and do that if the customer damages your item or does a false INAD, you can deduct up to 50% of their refund and deduct all of the shipping. I've done that a couple of times because I do a little bit of new shoe RA, retail arbitrage, and they bought these new shoes and they wore them and then they returned them. I do offer free returns. Well, it's like a car, right? I've sold that. You put it on your foot, so technically it's no longer considered new. It's pre-owned, probably in excellent condition, but I no longer can sell it as new. So the value of that pair of shoes, which was new, which is now used, is no longer as high. So I've deducted the 50% because that's a big drop in value. And a couple times it's happened, the customers get mad. They reach out, they open a case with eBay. eBay decides in my favor because I put that note in there. I'm like, these were sold as new. Now they're pre-owned. eBay, I can't relist the same pair of shoes as new. So now they're pre-owned. So I deducted them. And what eBay does is they go ahead and make the customer right. So they made up the difference. But so I earned 50% on that sell of a new shoe. And then I turn around and list it as pre-owned. I figure out the market value on like new pre-owned or excellent condition pre-owned. And then they end up selling. So in a way, like I don't even get mad. I'm like, yeah, return those new shoes because I'm gonna make half of it there. I'm probably gonna cover my cost of goods. I'm gonna make a little bit of profit. And when they sell the second time as used, I'm gonna make even more money. So that's a little that's an example of how the free returns really helps you. In that example with a new shoe specifically. Tommy says resellers will get it taken away. They will tape the poly down and measure around boxes. Watch. Oh, I hope not. I hope not, but yeah, it wouldn't totally surprise me. Tommy says I deduct 50% all the time on new and pre-owned. If I have to touch it, then 50% is gone. Ouch. I won't do it. Like if it's a pre-owned item and it comes back in the same condition, I'm not going to do that because I'm fearful if you misuse that 50% deduction and there's not a valid reason, like the value of the item really hasn't decreased, then I'm scared that if you misuse that, then eBay might take that away from you. Um, Tex talked about that in the group as well. But I've definitely used it many a time. But hey, if it works for you and you get away with it, I ain't mad at you. I don't do free returns either. So what type of return policy do you have, Tommy? Oh, that's why if I have to. Oh, okay. If you have to clean it again, yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, if you got to clean it again, absolutely. Cleaning shoes sucks, and that's one of the reasons I've moved into clothing. But I do shoes on the side, and I do the new shoes because there's no cleaning. They're easy to list. The only problem with that is the cost of goods is more expensive, and I really don't have the bankroll currently to do that at a massive scale. Yeah, the same condition, full refund. I got you. That makes sense. Thanks for that clarification. 30-day buyer's pay. Yeah, well, the problem with that is you don't get you also, if you do the free returns, you get negative feedback protection. So if the customer gets it, they leave you a negative feedback. They open a return if it's free returns. They send it back to you. Once you refund them, eBay will automatically remove that negative feedback. But in your case, if you have 30-day buyer paid returns, then eBay will not remove that feedback. So it gives you some feedback protection too. Just one other thing to consider. Clay says, I can't wait till one day Tommy actually is on Brian's Live and it'll be like that show part, Right? What is it like Shannon Sharp and who's the douchebag? He used to be here. I can't think of his name for some reason. Little dweeby sports sports guy. Oh my god, what's his name? You'll tell me in a minute, Clay. How they're always going at it for now into clothing. Yeah, yeah. Well, my sales are up 38% month over month, and I'm making more money on shipping. Here's the thing, like charging $7.99 shipping, and I'm leaning my biggest category I'm listing the most is men's shirts. I'm going for a couple of bucks each, and most of those are shipping $4 to $5 cubic rate. So the money I make on shipping covers the cost of goods, which is beautiful. And here's the other thing, and the thing I'm not crazy about with shoes, which is a problem with eBay. Like eBay charges you that final value fee, and if you do promoted listings, they charge you on the sales tax and the shipping. So the more you charge for shipping, your fees are just going up by that same percentage. So really, the lower your shipping charges, the lower your fees are going to be. And eBay is wrong for doing that. By the way, that there is no reason for them to charge you a final value fee on the shipping and the sales tax. I mean that's outrageous. Tommy says you can do the 50% off with buyer paid. Absolutely, I do it all the time. Yeah, I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm talking about the negative feedback protection. That's the only thing you're missing, Tommy. And buyer paid returns, I think obviously it's better than no returns. I just don't think it's as good as free returns. And my return rate, and I put this in the video and I showed people, it's only 4%. I mean, I don't think that's very high. 4 out of 100 items, and that final value fee, 10% credit I get, like it pretty much covers the cost of those returns. And I know I'm going to be selling more items because you're going to show up higher in the returns, like Tommy was saying. All that stuff is weighted. Skip Bayless, yeah. Oh, you're talking about the one with Michael Wilbon? Yeah, yeah. I was thinking of Skip Bayless when he was doing it with Shannon Sharp, and nobody likes Skip Bayless. That dude is infamous. He is infamous. Clay says, "Say it like you mean it. Say beautiful and do." I don't even know what that was in reference. Was I'm leaving that alone. We ain't talking politics on my show, Clay. Ain't going there. Tommy says, I'm not missing that either. They took the protection away. Call in and ask them. Now, I know it's harder to get negatives removed, but not on those. They get removed. I've seen it happen time and time again. If you get a negative feedback, let's say they leave a negative feedback and they don't return the items. Like in my case, I have free returns. They don't return it. In those cases, it is hard. It is very difficult to get eBay to remove that negative feedback. But if they leave a negative feedback and with my free returns, they ship it back to me. Once I receive it back, eBay automatically removes it. If not, you can reach out and call them or reach out to eBay for Business and they'll remove it. Tommy says, once women realize they gained 30 pounds during COVID, I'll do free returns again. Yeah, that's a hot topic right there. That's a hot topic. And that's the thing. Everybody is free to do it how they see fit. I'm just giving you my rationale. And it's working for me. 4%, it's not that high. And I wish I could see a direct correlation of like how many more sales I get because of those free returns. Hmm. Mm-hmm. I'll have to double check into that. And unless they changed it very recently, that's not how they were doing it. What's that in reference to, Clay? Tommy says, or I can make them say something deranged. Yeah. I I don't know. You're kind of losing me on this conversation. I was talking shipping and returns, cubic shipping, buyer paid free returns, seller paid free returns. Drink that water. So so we've been talking about business models today. So I'm curious what type of business model we're looking at. I know we talked about that last time I did a live when Josh was here. Um, I think Clay's business model. Have you listed any of those shoes I gave you, or any of the clothing you have, Clay? Have you developed a listing habit? Scared to ask that question. I said you said the word beautiful, and that's yeah. What did I say was beautiful? How did I reference that? He does love that word beautiful, right? And what the best and beautiful. All the superlatives. Superlatives are good. Yeah, I'm not getting pulled into the political talk, but yeah, Texas definitely leans that way. Don't get Clay started. Yeah, let's stick to eBay, returns, shipping, business models. I'm also in the process of doing a gene deep dive where I'm making videos on this. It may not be that exciting, but part of my time each day I spend on researching, doing deep dives into brands, looking at sell through rate, looking at ASP, and within that, looking at, are there certain models? What are the characteristics that make some items in a certain brand more popular than others? Like a deep dive. Um, huh? Okay. Um, to see what makes those things more popular, or sell for more money. Um, Making, I figure I might as well make some content while I do that. So I've been putting those videos up, and instead of doing that today, I did the free return discussion that Tommy and I kind of had, but I made a video giving my perspective on that. And that was my brother. They have a business with doing Christmas lights, and they're here taking down my Christmas lights. So here in a second, I need to go talk to him real quick. I didn't even know he was coming by today. Clay says, "Oh, for sure, there's some idiot." Yeah, I'm not. I ain't even putting that up there. We ain't talking politics, or I'm not getting engaged in that. Last time I did that, I lost a friend on here, and I said, nope, never again. Never, never again. That's hilarious. Clay writes in, no, Tommy writes in Clay on the ballot. Clay for president. All right, let's see. Will Kenny says, my wife and I are beginning to resell vintage clothing through eBay and Depop. Any advice just starting out? Wondering what realistic goals that we can set on a month-to-month basis. Wow, that's a big question. Um, I guess, like, where are you in the process? Like, tell me a little bit more about your business model. Like, for example, I list 35 per day. I sell on eBay. I use Vendor to cross list on Poshmark. Um, my sell through rate is about half a percent. So if I list 35, I'm selling about 17 or 18 per day on average. Um, so it kind of, to set the goals on a month to month basis, it kind of depend on where you're at. I know you said you're just starting out. So can you give me a little bit more information about, like, where you are? What are your sales? What are your gross sales? What is your listing habit? What type of inventory? I know you said vintage. Give me a little bit more information. I can try to help you. Guys, if y'all excuse me, I gotta go talk to my brother real quick. I'll be real quick. And Will, if you want to put that in the chat when I get back, I'll try to answer you. Okay, not sure if anybody's even still here. Sorry, my brother and brother-in-law came over to town. Whoa, my Christmas lights, and also they built the pool. All right, let me make a note because I need to order filters. I got some issues, pool issues. Don't get a pool unless you're rich. All right, where were we? So Will asked a question. We'll just catch up on the chat. Clay said, "Did you move a desk since your back is towards the garage door?" Yeah, I moved all this around, Clay. Like I'm facing the door right now that leads in. You know what Clay's been over here that leads into the hallway. Behind me is the garage door, so I cleared out some space. Tommy says, "Reality depends on how good you are at reading data and not buying junk, listing properly at accurate price. Don't expect much until you fumble for a while." Yeah, there is a learning curve on that. That's for sure. That's what I was telling my wife. I'm like, I think I'm just now really trying to figure out eBay because, like what Tommy you were saying earlier, list high and take offers. Like, there's too much competition on eBay now. It's hard to do that. Like, there's you got to be good at your craft. Tommy says no two people or stores grow the same or remotely close. First tip is 9% of anything you see on YouTube will up and fly. Yeah, that's probably accurate. Yeah, there's so many variables. Um, all right. Will says we both work full time, but want to earn extra money to pay off student loans. I love that. Right now, we could realistically put about 5 to 8 hours a week between the two of us. All right, that's a great way to do it because I was a teacher and I basically did the same thing. I did this part time and I grew it until it was making the same, if not more, than I was making as a teacher. And then after that, after a while, I then moved full time. So so you said you're selling vintage. Are you knowledgeable in the vintage era, vintage clothing? Another thing to consider is like what what unfair advantage do you have in your area? For example, I'm in Texas, so we get a lot of Western wear. Um, I'm just outside of Dallas, so there's also a lot of like higher end fashion wear as well. So you kind of want to look at like what advantages does your region have, or what unfair advantage do you have even up here? Maybe a skill set or knowledge that you could use to give yourself an advantage. Clay says, I think if you just ask Tom and Brian questions and watch their responses, content related videos, you'll learn a lot. Also, there are people we can recommend as well, but Brian and Tommy have done it long enough. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm the end all be all, but I'm pretty knowledgeable. So I'll be glad to help as much as I can. Will says we are limited to clothing and shoes. We have very small inventory, maybe 50 to 70 items. So I guess one of the things to consider is your storage space, right? Your storage space in sell through will dictate a lot of what you can sell. Like I have 3 storage units plus a garage, so I have pretty fair amount. I can probably store 8, 10,000 clothing items in that space, and I could add another storage unit if I needed to. So I guess the first question would be, what is your inventory system? Um, and it's good that you're small at this point because learning how to do it right from the beginning, man, because Tommy was talking about fumbling and bumbling. If you can shorten that learning curve, it can make your life a lot easier. Tommy says if you're part time, you have the ability to be the pickiest person on the planet, never waste a penny on a low dollar slow. Run a lean. Yeah, so lean, if you're trying to run a small store part time, be real, yeah, I would start off being real choosy, looking for higher profit items, because you don't have a lot of time to list. So out of those 5 to 8 hours, sourcing should take up most of your time. Maybe you're spending 5 hours sourcing, maybe an hour doing shipping, customer service, and maybe an hour or two doing the listing. And creating good listings with proper titles, proper item specifics, priced properly will help you sell those things quick as possible, which will free up your inventory space and which will bring the money in, which you can then go out and do the same thing. Tommy says if more items are listed than sold last 90 days, I wouldn't even consider it if part-time. So Tommy's saying you're looking for a 100% sell-through rate, something that's going to sell within 90 days. If you here, let me give you an example. Well, I don't know if you already know that. So if you don't understand sell-through rate, then let me know and I can walk you through that through screen share. Will says, are there any items that you would recommend focusing on within clothing shoes? So once again, it's going to depend on what you have available in your area. Um, when I first like, all right, so my story, a long story. Like I started selling everything. I began watching Bonafide Hustler. I was going to garage sales primarily. I was picking up electronics, bats, baseball gloves, shoes, hard goods. Wasn't even doing much clothing at the beginning. I was picking up higher profit items. Um, then I joined Chris Daily Refinements group, and we joined with Tech's group, and I saw what Tech was doing with clothing. He was listing 250 a day and making up to $7,000 to $8,000 in gross sales per day. And I was like, okay. So I tried listing clothing, and I had a friend, Matt, the Drunk Yard Dog. He was in Chris's group. I think he was the top men's jean seller there for a while. And I got into a wholesale deal where I was buying pallets of women's pre-owned jeans, and my business blew up. Like I hired a VA back then. We were doing 50 a day, and before you knew it, I was almost doing 20,000 a month gross on women's jeans. But there was a lot of factors. Back then, it was easier to sell, and then the pandemic and the stimulus money came out, which was great. But I've always loved shoes too. Tommy's a big shoe seller, and shoes are great. Like a small store like that, I would probably focus in on shoes myself. Maybe higher end clothing items, but I focus on shoes, and shoes do great. Like shoes sell for good money, and once you learn what to look for, you can make a great, especially part time. If I was doing part time, I'd probably just do shoes, to be honest. Maybe shoes and jackets, but I kept going back and forth between clothing and shoes, and that's kind of why my store has kind of stalled out, where I'm not further ahead than I should be. But I finally settled on just clothing, and then when I dug into my data more, and I saw that my men's clothing, matter of fact, I looked at my sell-through rate. Like my 90-day sell-through rate on men's sweaters is 37%. Of course, it's winter, so that makes sense. My men's shirts was 21%, my men's jeans 20%, men's pants 15%. Whereas my women's clothing, which was mostly women's jeans, was only like at 10 or 11%. So sell-through is really important. So I was like, all right, I need to focus just on men's clothing, and that's where I'm at right now. But like there was a long evolution. So part of reselling is like kind of finding what you like to resell, what you have abundantly, what you can sell for good profit, what fits in your storage space. Like if you only have a closet, you can't sell a whole lot of items. So you'd want to sell really expensive items that sell fast. All right. Tommy says whatever sells the fastest for the most profit. Yeah, I just rambled a lot, but that's the summary of that. Research every single item before you think about buying it. Only way to learn. There's no shortcuts or hacks. Yeah, and you can preload. You could do that searching up front. You can do it on the computer. I recommend that. You can also do it when you're outsourcing. Matter of fact, I have a series where I'm going through the top selling men's jeans, where we're looking at every brand. We're looking at the sell through rate. We're looking at the average sell price, and then we're going into that brand and we're pulling out which items within that brand sell for even the most money. So, like in your situation, you would want to focus just on those really high selling, fast turning items. All right, Clay says Brian is putting on his series of vid about the best jeans. That's just what I said. He has old videos with good content. Tommy can tell you and I and everyone that Hoka, if you come across them, yeah, he's talking about shoes. The Hoka Onings, those are great. And there's a lot of other shoes that are really good. I still will pick up boots. Like my highest ASP category is men's boots, men's cowboy boots, men's hiking boots. And even though I'm just clothing, if I come across men's boots and they're at the right price, I will still pick those up because they just sell for so much money. Clay said, as Tommy said, I agree. Research is everything. That's what I did when I first started, when Brian taught me, and we would go to garage sales together, and I worked for him sourcing. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I also put out some what sold videos. I have a series, and I highlight my 10 biggest sells each week. And I'll tell you now, they're dominated with shoes still, even though I'm a clothing seller now. They're dominated with shoes. So you can watch those videos and get an idea of what's kind of selling at what price. Clay says we need to tell Brian he has to put on one of his old videos or something when he leaves. Yeah, I should. Yeah, I didn't know I was gonna be out there that long. I had to talk to Bubba Clay. I got some pool issues, and he's gonna help me out with. Gonna try to sell this house in the spring or summer so we can pay off debt and downsize and cut our expenses, and so that then I can focus on my business without as much stress. Um, Chicken two tops. Where do you shop frequently? Okay, so for pre-owned goods, right? Typical places, obviously thrift stores, the Goodwill outlets, also known as the bins, where you can buy it by the pound. That's a good place, depending on what your budget for inventory is. Garage sales can be great, depending on where you're at in the time of year, obviously, because you're getting items before they get donated. Flea markets are good. Estate sales can be good. You can buy items online. You can buy wholesale, like I was talking about pallets before, make connections. If you're talking about new items, you can do retail arbitrage, where you go to outlets or Ross's or TJ Maxx's. Um, so there's lots of different ways to get inventory. You can even network with other resellers too. Clay says, where do you live? Do you know if they have a Goodwill bins? I started out, as I said, by going to garage sales with Brian. We used to teach together. Yeah, garage sales are great. Depending where you live and the weather and how many, garage sales can be good. Yeah, Clay's kind of going over some things I said. Thanks, Clay. Who else said he lives close to Cincinnati? A Goodwill bins close. Yeah, at this time of year in January, late January, I know it's got to be cold up there. So the Goodwill bins would be a great place to go. Just be careful, because it's tempting when things are cheap to buy garbage items. Just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's good. Like what Tommy was saying, you still want to focus on things that and you got to figure out what your business model is, right? Like for me, because I can list quickly and I have space and I'm growing my store, I'm okay with only a $10 profit per item. And I'm okay if it takes a year to sell. But if you're part-time and you have limited space, that's not the way to go. You would want a higher average profit. Maybe you want to look at items that are $20 profit that are going to sell within 90 days. That's probably a better model for part-time. But so yeah, but the bins would be a good place to get started for sure. Clay says, I haven't watched him in several years, but have you watched any of Cincinnati Pickers videos? Assume he's in Cincinnati, could be wrong. Yeah, I haven't watched him in a while either. I know he's in Everything Seller. If you're not just looking at clothes and shoes, yeah, he could be good to look at. Clay's talking to text. You have a pull, so therefore you must be rich. Oh, no. I got a great deal. Jason, my brother-in-law, owns a pool company, so he gave me a great deal on that pool. But man, pools are money pits. So once we sell this house, I'm done with pools. Clay says, show Will one of your listings or a couple. Well, yeah, if you post back in here, Will, if you have any other questions about sell-through or title structure, I can share my screen and go over that, but I don't even know if Will's here, so I'm not just going to post that unless he says something. Clay's out, picking up mom, going to El Phoenix. Love El Phoenix. And I know what Clay is going to get. He's going to get the cheese enchiladas, no onions, and cut the beans, add extra rice. He always orders the same thing. Clay's very predictable. So I'm just looking on my eBay app to see if I got any notifications since I've been away. Actually, sales have been slow today. They've been good this week, but I've only got 3 sales since I've shipped out. Hopefully they come in later tonight. I'm gonna send out some offers to watchers real quick. While I'm sitting here looking at the chat, boom, send out 3 offers to watchers. All right. Okay. All right. Sure, Will. Let's see. So let me share the screen. We were talking about promotions earlier. Well, here, let me do, before I get to that, well, here, I can kind of, because you were talking about like what to sell. So if you go to eBay under orders, it pulls up your last 90-day sales. I'm going to sort that by order total so I can, like I do these what sold videos, but I can kind of give you an idea of what's selling for the most money for me. And of course, I'm outside of Dallas, so it may be a little different than being in Cincinnati. And it's running slow, I guess, because I got StreamYard on. All right. I'm going to sort this. You can sort this by order total if it's 90 days or less. You can see I had 960 sales on eBay. I also sell on Poshmark. Like I sold some cowboy boots for 220 bucks on Poshmark here recently. So like here's an example. I was talking about cowboy boots. These Lucchese boots sold for 159 plus shipping. Now I'm in Texas, so for example, I'm going to run into cowboy boots more often than probably somebody in Cincinnati. But all right, Lucchese or Lucchese 1883 in this case. And then what is it, right? These are cowboy boots. So brand, gender, size. And that's true pretty much for almost all listings, if it's clothing or shoes. So Lucchese, what's the brand? What is it? Lucchese 1883 cowboy boots. Gender, men's. Size 9B. Now on the back end, you want to fill out your other keywords, which the customer might search for, which will help them find your item. The color is important. The material, these are leather, so brown leather. This is actually buffalo leather, so I've got that in the title. Western is kind of like a synonym. Some people will search cowboy boots. Some people will search Western boots. So I want to include both of these. I use the Spanish term botas, which means boots, because I've found out that a lot of Spanish speakers buy boots from me, and maybe they search by the term botas. You want to show your item from every possible angle. So I'm doing the side profile. I'm doing a quarter angle. the front angle. I'm zooming in on the toe box. That's important on shoes. I'm showing the inside of the boots, the other angle, the other profile, the back. See, I'm taking like what, probably 12 photos. I'm showing the inside of the boot so they can see the insole. There's the brand Lucchese 1883. It's kind of worn away, but I sell a lot of boots, so I know that's Lucchese. There's where you're going to find the size, like right there. See, that's 9B. It's size 9B is the width, and on a men's shoe, a B width is kind of narrow. You're going to show the bottom of the outer soles so they can see the wear. On boots, you can see I charge $14.99 standard shipping. These I just put good condition. And then your item description, and these are all the item specifics you fill out. And then I paste the title and the item description, and then I put that we do fast shipping. I'm asking people to follow my store because I'm trying to get repeat buyers. I'm trying to grow that. And recently, I also add in that I do a buy two, get one free. I include that in my description because that's a promotion. Once again, I'm encouraging people to buy more items. So there's an example of an item. These right here, these were new, and I did this with retail arbitrage. I paid $10.71 for these. I almost feel bad saying that. You see, they sold for $129 plus shipping. Here, we'll look at the title in here. Well, we can look at it from here. We don't have to go into the complete listing. So the brand is Merrell. On some shoes, they will have a model name. So I will then put the model name after the brand. So Merrell Therma Rogue 3 Mid, which is, these are mid tops, GTX. What are they? Hiking boots. This title is a little different because of the model name. Men's size 14. And then the keywords, right? These are Gore-Tex, which it can be kind of dangerous putting Gore-Tex in there. You might get a, we call it a Vero for that, but that they're new and that they're waterproof. Here's a jersey. I remember I picked this up at the flea market. I think I paid $3 for it, and it sold for $125 plus shipping. Let's take a look at this one. This one was a little unique. I remember when I picked this up, I saw Nike, I saw the jersey. I'm like, and then I saw this. I'm like, that looks like Russian or a language I don't read. And on the jersey, there's a signature. Now you can't really read it, or I couldn't read it, but I'm putting all these clues together. Here's a hockey jersey, Nike hockey jersey, with what looks like a signature on it. So in this case, it's the brand. It's the same pattern, right? Brand Nike. What is it? Hockey jersey, size men's XL. And now all the other keyword. I did a little research on this. Russian national team, IIHF. I think that's some type of hockey federation. And this was from the Sochi 24 Olympics. I put an asterisk. And on the condition description, put an overall good condition. There's pin marks on the shoulder. Now, I can't say 100% that's a signature. That's me being careful. And I put looks like signature as shown on pictures, otherwise noted that. So I'm telling them, hey, it looks like there's a signature. And I also include measurements on the clothing. So jerseys can be worth some good money. So cowboy boots, jerseys. So here's another pair of cowboy boots, and these just sold this week, as a matter of fact. These are Cavender Western boots, men's 8.5 wide. The wide width makes these more valuable. Cognac is the color. These are Hornback Cayman, which is the outer material right here. See, like this Cayman alligator. So, and then with boots, outer material, even though with the scuffing, they still sell for good money. And I took pictures of the scuffing. The more exotic the skins, they can be worth more money. And once again, keywords. See, I interchange Western and cowboy. I even put rodeo. I don't know. Like maybe if you're going to the rodeo, you want to wear this. Sometimes you're creative. You're looking for those keywords. I don't remember what I paid for these. I think my friend Greg sold them to me, maybe $20. I don't know, but they sold for good money. So I love cowboy boots. If I had like what to sell, if I had an endless supply of good pre-owned cowboy boots, I would focus just on that because you can still see how much money they sell for. And here's a pair of women's boots, right? That sold for 119 plus shipping. These are Fry Shirley riding boots. Um, women's 9, black leather, tall, knee high. Fry is a great brand, whether it's men's or women's. They make boots. They also make shoes and even some clothing, but the boots is where the money is. Here, I remember I paid up for these. Those I think I only paid a couple dollars for. Sometimes you'll find some good steals if that's why you want to spend more time sourcing, finding these good items. I did pay up. I think I paid 15 for these Ariat Western boots. These are women's size 9. So this is a tile structure once again. The brand, what is it? Gender, size, and then the other keywords. These have embroidered roses on them, brown leather, cowgirl both dozen. They sold for I think 119 plus shipping. So cowboy boots for me, but I don't find them. These are my best sells, but I don't have as many boots as I'd like. Mostly what I list now is clothing because it's abundant and I'm trying to do a volume game. But when you look at my once again, if I was doing this part time, I would just do shoes. Here's a pair of UGG ankle boots, women's. They sold for 89 plus shipping. Another pair of Merrell. These were new. I picked these up for $16. They sold for 71 plus shipping. Here's another new pair of Nikes. These I paid 25. They sold for 67. Another new pair of Nikes. I paid 25. They sold for 67 plus shipping. A pair of Nike KDs. Also new. I paid 40 for these. They only sold for 67, so I didn't make much on those. Another pair of new Nikes. I paid 25. They sold for 67 plus shipping. Here's another jersey. I think I paid $7 at a thrift store for this. This is a vintage Chicago Bulls jersey. Kirk Heinrich from the 90s Chicago Bulls championship teams. Now, jersey is a little different. So what I'll now if something is vintage, I'll put vintage as the first keyword. And normally you would put the brand, right? See, there are exceptions to these rules, but here the player. So whoever's looking this is probably searching for the player first. So they're going to search for Kirk Heinrich, right? The guard for the Chicago Bulls, played with Jordan. And then I'm going to add the team name, Chicago Bulls. What is it? Jersey. So here I changed up the title structure a little bit. And then the size, men's XXL, which is a good size. I put the brand, which normally goes at the front, way back here as a keyword because it's not as important that this is an Adidas jersey as it is the player and the team. The +2 is the length of the jersey. This is like a game length jersey that 2 inches longer, can be tucked in. And then the color NBA rare. There aren't very many of these on the market. So that sold for 75 plus shipping. So if I was part time, all these items I'm showing you would be what I'd be focusing on. There's another pair of new Merrells. I paid $10.71 for them. They sold for 65 plus shipping. Here's a bundle deal. Somebody bought. See, I've tried different promotions. This was buy one get one half off. So somebody took advantage of this. They bought these Nike T-Lite 8s, and then they got the Nike Zoom without a doubt half off. But I typically make some money on shipping, and these typically on my used shoes, I'm paying under 10 and a lot of times under 5. So that was some good profit. Here's a vintage Nike Air Zoom indoor soccer shoe, sold for 50 plus shipping. Jackets can be good, especially this time of year, and I'll pick these up year round. Johnston and Murphy leather jacket. Leather jackets can be worth some good money. And Johnston and Murphy isn't even the strongest brand, but the leather jacket, I think I got this at the Goodwill outlet for maybe 3 or 4 or 5 bucks. Sold for 62 plus shipping. Another pair of new Merrell boots, paid 10, sold for 60. Five Finger Barefoot shoes, they sold for 30 plus shipping. Another pair of new Nikes, paid 35, sold for 60. That's the thing on the new shoes. Like sometimes you'll make a bad buy. I bought these at Ross. I paid $60 for these Nike Zoom Freaks. They sold for what I paid for them. So I actually lost money when you factor in fees. But I'd been sitting on these for a long time, and I just wanted to move them to get that capital back and make a better buy. There's a Nike City Classic boot, paid 30, sold for 60. So you can see a lot of my high sells are my new shoes, my cowboy boots. Lots of shoes. Here's something good. Remember, I picked this up at the bins. So I probably paid $5 or less. These are a pair of motorcycle pants. The brand is Olympia Moto Sports Pants, men's 38, Cordura reflective armor padded motorcycle. And you can tell these because of the padding, and they just look different. Anytime I come across pants or even shoes, if it looks unusual, take a little bit of time to see what you got. And you can see those sold for good money. Motorcycle gear, motorcycle jackets, pants, jeans, they can all sell for good money. There's another Nike. Here's a pair of Cole Haan driving loafers. Oh, and these are the ones I shipped out today. I shipped out 6. Well, they put this all as one, but I had 2 bundles of these Wrangler jeans. I have buy 2 get 1 free, and so all in, they paid 75 for these, and they had another bundle. I don't know why it's not showing, just like this. So they spent $150 on 6 pair of Wrangler jeans. They were all in their same size. That's why I like to have a big store, because I can get multi-quantity sales, get repeat customers. I think it cost me $10 or $12 to ship the jeans out. They all went in one box. I think I made $40. The customer paid $40 total on shipping on the 2 different orders. It cost me 10 to 12 to ship, so I made a nice profit on those jeans. Another Nike, you can just see the shoes. There's another pair of cowboy boots, Nakoma Western boots. Another pair of Merrell's, Under Armour, new Nike Air Zoom Pegasus. So shoes, oh, there's that second pair of jeans, but these all shipped out together. I shipped this order and that order, then added the tracking number, and so it went out in one box. There's another new boots, new shoes. Um, this also shipped out the other day. I paid $1 for this. Here's a pair of pants, and a lot of times people overlook pants, dress pants, but this is the brand Suit Supply. If it shows, yeah, Suit Supply. The model is the Braden, and I paid $1, and these sold for 50 plus shipping, and they sold within a couple of days. I could have probably got a little bit more, but like I said earlier, I'm pricing at market. I'm pricing to move things. I want things to sell. I want that money to come in, and then I want to go out and redeploy that capital. There's a Ralph Lauren jacket, a Wilson's Julian leather jacket, lots of shoes, lots of boots, a vintage Champion yellow jersey, vintage London Fog leather jacket. Chelsea boots are good. Combat boots can be good. Merrell's can be good. All right, I feel like I'm being redundant. So you can see shoes are really good for the ASP. Jackets are really good. Levi's. Um, Bundled orders can be good if you have a big inventory. So, but see, those are my highest sales. But if I sort this by date sold, date buyer paid, you'll see that most of my sales aren't that good. I'm doing a volume game, so I'm shipping out a lot of $10 profit items, sometimes even less. So let's take a look once this processes. That's the oldest one from October. Let's look at the most recent orders shipped. And then I'm going to get out of the screen and I'll come back to the chat, see if there's any questions or anything else I can clarify. And this is running super slow because StreamYard's running it. I guess it's taking a lot of my computer's resources. So like these sold today, Hollister jeans, $5.99. I'm trying to get rid of them plus shipping. Sold another new pair of Nikes, 52 plus shipping. I sold a wool coat, not the greatest brand. I got this at the bins for a couple bucks. It sold for 11 plus shipping. A pair of worn booties. I paid $1. I'm blowing out all my women's stuff. Mizona track jacket, 8 plus shipping. Lee women's jeans, 10 plus shipping. Like this type of stuff I'm getting for $1 or $2. Ariat mules, $1 or $2, 21 plus shipping. Steve Madden shoes, $1. I've had these for a long time. Just get rid of them, $8 plus shipping. Izod shirt, paid $1. It sold for $9.89. Made a little bit on shipping. Another Izod shirt, which is not the greatest brand, but I got it for $1. Callaway polo, got it for $1. Sold for 14 plus shipping. Hager shirt, got it for $1. Sold for 8 plus shipping. Callaway. So you can see a lot. Most of my orders, there's those jeans. A lot of my orders don't sell for that much. Because I'm trying to build up a volume game. By the end of the year, I want to be listing 85 items per day, and then next year I want to hire a second VA, and by the end of next year, I'd like to be doing at least 150 listings per day. Brash boots. There's those suit supply. So you get some home runs. I consider this a home run mixed in with some just singles, or maybe that's only a bunt single. So yeah. So hopefully that helped a little bit with remove that. Hopefully that helped with a title structure. Okay, like that was a lot of talking. A little water in the system. So what are you? Okay, so you're selling part-time clothes and shoes. You're in Cincinnati. I guess the other question is like, what is your inventory system like? If you got any more questions, if anyone else out there, I know there's not a whole lot of people watching right now, but I don't feel bad because my friend Chris, Daily Refinement, I saw that he was streaming live right before I went on, and he only had 20 people viewing, and he is probably the biggest reselling channel on YouTube. So I guess people aren't down with reselling videos on a late Friday afternoon so much. But I've only got 3 people right now. But I appreciate all 3. What else can we talk about? You're welcome. Glad to help you. If you got any more questions, just reach out to me. You can maybe watch some of the other videos I made, and you can comment, reach out. I'm always happy to try to help other people, especially as they're starting reselling, try to figure it out. So at the beginning, there is a lot. It can be a little overwhelming, and then you're at the fun stage though, trying to figure out what you want to resell, where to resell, how much to your whole business model. That's a fun part of the journey. All right. I don't know what else to talk about. Let's see. Earlier we talked about returns. We've talked about business model. Kind of gone over some cells. Oh, no problem, Will. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the questions. Good luck in your journey. If I can help you further, just reach out, man. I'll be glad to try. Usually I have another person on the screen to talk to. It's a little weird when you're by yourself. Just checking my eBay on the app. Do we got any offers? Man, it's slow on eBay right now. For me, anyway. Can I send any offers? Nope, not currently. Let me look up my scheduled listings because I know my VA is working right now. Casey, a very talented virtual assistant. Big help to the business. Let's see. So today she has, here, I'll show you. Or whoever's watching, if anybody's watching. So when you go to my eBay, you go to your seller's hub, right? What she does is she schedules them. So if I go to listings schedule, and I've already done the 35 for today, so I will do these tomorrow. But what I do is like she schedules them at least a week out. And if I don't mess with these would actually launch on this date and time. Um, and then I would go into the listing. Let's do one. All right. So I'll give you an example of how I review a listing. You, all right. So we got the pictures I took. On this sticky note, I take the measurements, which she knows what these measurements mean. This is pit to pit. This is the total chest measurement, which is all you do is double the pit to pit. And this is the length. And then I'll leave any notes. Like this one, the size tag was missing or illegible. I forget which. So I just put this was a polyester shirt. And so she looks at these pictures and she creates the title. So you can see this is a Callaway OptiDry XL polo shirt. So the brand is Callaway. What is it? And I've taught this to my VA too. It's a polo shirt. The gender, men's. Size is XL. And then the other keywords, right? This is like blue. So there's not a dominant color. It's kind of like blue and gray. This striped. OptiDry is a good keyword because that's kind of like Nike's Dry Fit. So the buyer would know this is like moisture wicking. Short sleeve, not the greatest keyword, but like sometimes it's like, well, what keywords are you going to put? Golf, that's a good keyword. Obviously, this is a golfing shirt. Casual, maybe you can wear this as casual wear. You can put the material. Um, so yeah, for this type of shirt, it's nothing fancy. So that's a basic title. We put the SKU number, which is also in my picture. This is its home in my inventory system. This is in box A244, and this item number is 8561. You put that right here in the custom label. We're under the item category of men's polos. I could put this. Do I have? I know when I was doing shoes, I created a bunch of store categories. Do I still have shirts? Could also put the, yeah, see, actually I do. I can put this in men's shirts XL. I probably need to clean up these categories because if you go to my store, you can shop by category. All right, so here, brand, if there's a dominant color, you would put it here. Maybe blue, but it's kind of blue and gray. Guess we could put blue there. I joke with her. I think she's a little colorblind. Whoops. The size, men's polo, um, the performance, it's golf, short sleeve. So she's filling out all this data here, regular fit, the material, the seasons. Hold on, I got a notification. Oh, somebody gave me a 5-star rating on Poshmark. I also sell on Poshmark. I cross list all this. I use Vendoo, which maybe I can show you Vendoo if anyone's interested in seeing how Vendoo works for cross listing. It closes with a button. It has a spread collar. It's casual. She puts some measurements in here. This is all searchable. Chest size, shirt length, condition. If there's no notes that I leave, the condition's always good condition C pics. And then I have a template that she uses where you paste the title. The template the template has the rest of this. Oh, I'm giving the customer the measurements. So this is going to help them see if it fits. I let them know that we ship same or next day. And this is what I was talking about earlier. I'm encouraging them to buy more than one item. So I ask them, want an even better deal? Buy 2 items at the listed price, offers not included. You get 1 item free. Add all 3 items into your cart during the checkout process. Enter this code. And by the way, if you're watching this, you want to buy some stuff, go buy you 3 items. Put in the code Great Deal 3871. And I also let them know that we get hundreds of new pieces listed and that they might want to follow the store. So I'm giving them measurements. I'm telling them we ship fast. I'm telling them we do discounts, and I'm asking them to follow the store. She's listing these at $14.99. I'll show you how I currently price items. So I just go to Terapeak Research, and right here I'm just going to put the basic Callaway golf polo shirt. Could even put the size. I'm going to research the last 90 days, and then I'm going to make sure I'm under pre-owned. And once again, eBay's running slow, much faster when I'm not streaming. You can see there's 325 sold in the past night. And I go over this a lot in my jeans series, my jean deep dives. So it gives you the median sold price. So most of these jeans are averaging $13.09. It gives you the spread, the average shipping, the sell-through rate is low. Well, it's January. People aren't buying short sleeve polos right now, but that's okay. This will probably sell come summertime. And then you can look at this bar data, right? You can kind of see the average. Like most of these are selling between the $10 to $20 range. You can look at the numbers sold each day. And if I change this per year, this would look different. But like during the winter time, like see this number is decreasing because it's cold, right? Jackets and sweaters would be increasing. And then you could look at the data. You could sort this by uh, newly sold, like, and you could take a look at the market 7, 12, 16, 7, 12, 12, 5, 15.99. You can see the shipping. But what I doing now is I'm basically taking this median price unless there's something special about the item. And this is just a basic Callaway golf polo. So I'm going to take $13.99, which she was close. So I'm going to put this at $13.99. I have, I'm going to leave this because normally I would launch it, but I'm going to do this tomorrow. I have shipping policies set up. So she knows if it's a shirt, she selects that, which the shipping is $7.99. If it's jeans, 2 pounds or more, that's $9.99. I have different shipping policies, but these top 4 are what I use the most. You can see I do free, this is set for 30-day money back returns. Actually, I think I normally do 60, so I'll probably change that later. And then I would revise it. Now, it wouldn't take me that long, literally, to review this without explaining to YouTube how I do it. It takes 30 seconds, 45 seconds. But for right now, I'm just going to leave this as scheduled. And tomorrow we will be launching all these. But that's an example. And so she's done a Callaway shirt, an AC/DC t-shirt, another Callaway, Joseph A. Banks polo, Arkansas Razorback Nike polo, Joseph A. Banks, an Adidas polo, a vintage Pearl Snap Redduck shirt, a vintage Tommy Hilfiger sweater, DKNY sweater, Nautica polo, Under Armour polo. Don't even know this brand. I'll have to look at it. Ginhu. It's a flannel shirt. Lots of flannel shirts are selling right now. A Nike sweater, an Inro shirt, a Faded Glory. Now, a lot of people won't even touch Faded Glory, but flannel, especially in the big sizes, I can still get 10, 11, 12 bucks for. If I pay $1 or $2, it's fine. Express 1MX, a vintage old school shirt, and another vintage Tommy Hilfiger. So most of this is just bread and butter. Let me come back to StreamYard. And got one person watching, so I'm basically talking to myself at this point. So, I don't know. I think I'm going to wrap this up unless the one person watching has any questions for me. Because I'm basically sitting here talking to myself. And I already know this information, so I'm not sure what value I'm bringing to myself on a Friday afternoon. All right. Let me check this real quick. I sold a Banana Republic sweater on Poshmark. Vernos. Mhm. Let's see. Into my family. No questions. First time watching you live. Hey, no problem. Glad. Thanks for dropping by. I'm just trying to get back into doing lives. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop them in there. I'll do my best to answer. Just explaining things that I think might be valuable to people, to resellers. But without questions, sometimes I don't know what to say, especially when it's just me. If I had my co-host, it'd be a little different. Um, but like my business model, like a lot of the stuff I sell is bread and butter. That's different than like what Will was talking about. How he is part time. He has a full time job, so he's doing it part time, which is smart. He has limited time. He's looking to sell shoes and clothes. So for him, it makes sense to focus on high profit items. Spend most of his time researching, learning which brands and models, maybe watch what sold videos, maybe use Terapeak, sold data to figure out. I wish, Will, I wish you were still here. Like I've talked to you about the zip code method of how to figure out what to sell based on your zip code. Catch me on another video and ask me. I'll try to remember that. But anyway, like so, Will should be spending his time doing research, what to sell, and spending most of his time sourcing, looking for those higher dollar selling items, and then spending less time listing. And becoming efficient at listing is very important. He was asking about title structure, and that's part of it, right? If you're titling your structure the same, it takes a lot of the thought process out of it. What's the brand? What is it? Is it men's, women's? Is it boys, girls? What's the size? What color is it? What's the material? Are there other important keywords that someone might use to try to find it in eBay search? Then you fill out your item specifics, like I showed when I went over my VA listing. What is your item description? Do you have a template? Are you selling similar off your own items? And then the pricing. And there's different pricing models, right? Like I used to price on the higher end of the market because on those Callaways, you saw different spreads, right? Selling as low as 5 all the way up to 60 something. But for me, most of them are selling around that 13, 14, $15. So if I price it there, when a item is newly listed, that's when you get the most search traffic. So my thought is, let's price it right at market. Let's give the customer a good deal. Let's make some profit. Let's sell it quickly and then replace it with another item. The way I used to do it is I would price it higher. Maybe I priced it at $24.99, and maybe it took a year or 9 months, 10 months, a year to sell, because at those higher prices, it probably will sell eventually if it's correct. It's just going to take longer. And if you're figuring out, well, what model is best for you, there's a lot of things to consider. what's your inventory, what's your income goal. Because my thought is the faster you turn it, the more money you make. Tech and Sports talks about the parking lot metaphor, where if you have a parking lot, right? Let's say you have 100 spots in your parking lot, and it costs $5 to park in that spot per day. Well, if 100 people come and they spend $5 and they spend all day in that parking spot, you've made $500. But what if you speed it up? And the metaphor would be sell through rate. What if people come in and they don't spend the whole day? What if they're there an hour, they pay the $5, then they leave and someone else comes in and parks there, and they're there a couple hours, and then someone else comes in there and parks in the afternoon. So what if each parking spot, 3 people park in it per day at the same $5? Or even, let's just say you give them a discount. Let's say, hey, if you park here for under 2 hours, it's $3 to park in the parking spot, versus all day it's $5. So 100 spots at $5 all day, that's $500. But if each spot is making $3 3 times a day, that spot is bringing in $9 per day, times 100 spots is $900. You make more money. And that's the metaphor with sell through rate, right? You lower your price, but you're selling it because that spot is the spot in your inventory system. So the more times you turn that over, yes, you're making less per transaction, but you're selling it faster. And so you're making more total money. And I think that's a really good way to look at sell through rate and the whole, fast nickel, slow dime. I've, I'm definitely on the fast nickel train. I used to be the slow dime person until I understood the value of sell through and turning these items over quickly. Look, I've just been talking nonstop. Um, yep. See behind me, you can see my shoe rack. And the shoe rack is when I was doing shoes, you clean the shoes, you put them on the rack, and then I'd use that rack to take photographs in. But with the clothes, I can put those are all in poly bags in that box. There's probably 40 bags with clothes in it in that one box. All right, good question. Do you set a listing goal based on number of items or price? Okay. Well, I think the first thing you want to look at is what is your profit goal, right? Because because the profit in the sell through rate, they're kind of like seesaws and they counterbalance each other. Um, some and that's going to depend on your goal. So actually take another step back. Like how much money do you want to make on eBay this year? A lot of people, the number one answer is they want to make 100,000, right? So there's different ways to make $100,000 profit. If you're being more choosy and your average profit per item is $20, well, you need to sell 14 items that average $20 profit per day, and that makes about $100,000 a year, right? Well, the higher your profit item, the rarer it is and the harder it is to find. Um, my my goal is I want $10 profit items, and like right now I'm listing 35 per day. But I've become really efficient. Like I was done by like 11 o'clock today with shipping, customer service, photographs, reviewing listings. And then I think I spent another hour going over some old listings. So I have the time. Like right now, I'm streaming on YouTube. I could be listing more items, but there's another part to that equation. How how many items are you selling per day? because you need that money to come in. In my case, I'm a full-time reseller, so I use that money to pay my bills. I also use that money to pay my storage unit. I use that money to pay my virtual assistant. I use that money to buy more inventory. Um, so if my cash flow is right, I could speed up and I could grow my listing goal. But I'm trying to keep it slow. So I'm adding one extra listing per day per week. So this week it's been 35 a day, Monday through Saturday. Sundays I take off. Next week we'll be doing 36 listings per day. Um, I don't even know if I answered your question. You said a listing goal based on number of items. Well, it's kind of both. It is number of items, but I'm also aware of the profit. Like, and I've looked at my average profit before I changed my model. My average profit was $18 and change per item, but I wasn't listing as many and I wasn't selling as many. So now I am going into more of a volume model, a lot of bread and butter, a lot of everyday items that I can find readily because I think I can list them fairly quickly and I can grow my listing habit. By the end of this year, we should be doing 85 per day. And if I Chris Daily Refinement, he talks about reseller nirvana. Like your dream would be to list 85 per day and sell 85 per day. That's hard to do though, unless you have really good items. But even if I sold half of what I listed, if I list 85 per day and I sell 40 per day, that's less than half, right? And if the average profit per item is $10, well, then I'm making $400 profit per day times 7 days in a week. That's 2,800. Let's just round it up. That's $3,000 a week times 52 weeks. That'd be $156,000. That's kind of where I want to be at the end of the year, moving into next year. So there's a lot of things you got to think about, right? Like, what is your goal? What is your storage capacity? What can you source in your area? What advantages do you have in your area? What is your sell-through rate? Like you've got to kind of weigh all these factors, and then you kind of come up with your business model. That's probably as clear as mud. And I've been doing this for probably about 4 years, so I've tried a lot of different models, and I think this is the one I'm gonna stick with. And then I'm mixing a little bit of new shoes. Do you still use your clicker? Yep. Here, it's right here on my desk. Let's see. Matter of fact, you can see what I was telling you is the truth. 35, that was today. And then so I just rewind it. And then tomorrow we'll start at 0. And there's something real satisfying. Like I was doing the book club calls in Chris and Tech's group, and habits are really important. So there's just something satisfying. You hear that click. It's just a small positive reinforcement every time you make a listing. And do I really need to do that? No, I could look at, there's different ways you can keep track of your numbers, but I like that satisfying small positive reinforcement. And actually what I do when I'm doing is I usually put it around my neck and then I just click it. It takes a split second to do. And then I keep track. And so till we get 35 listed, but we're doing 43 drafts or scheduled per day. And what that does, that extra 8 allows me, I can still get my listings up on days out, full sourcing days, and Sundays when I don't work. And it will also build up so that, if I want to take a week to go on vacation or to go sourcing and, sourcing out of city, out of state, I can do that. So, yep, I love, I love the clicker. I had a lot of people. You know what? Let me make a note. I need to put that on my Amazon link, supply link, because a lot of people ask me about that clicker. Maybe I get a small Amazon affiliate if people purchase that from the video. They're pretty cheap. And I usually buy a couple at a time because I've already broke a couple. I guess too much clicking. They're not the most durable things. Man, out of water. My goal was to go till 5, so I got 30 more minutes. Unless I run out of things to talk about. What is up, Scott? What's up, Scott? Triple D, dumpster diver dad. I know you were like me, kind of heartbroken with that Cowboy loss. Man, they laid an egg. Disappointing. Talk about going in there with high hopes, number 2 seed, undefeated at home, like over the past or for like what 16 games, and then we just laid an egg against Green Bay. Now Green Bay did play great. And by the way, tying all that into reselling, like sports merchandise is always good to pick up and resell. Jerseys, shirts, hats, jackets, you name it. So obviously I find a lot of cowboy stuff around here in my area. I think Scott's out there. He's still in Cali, right, Scott? Out there finding the 49er stuff. San Francisco and Detroit. That should be a good game. And then you have Baltimore and KC. That should be a great game. I think Baltimore has the better team, but you never want to bet against Patrick Mahomes. That dude's like on a different level. Hey Scott, y'all still doing y'all's Sunday night live show? I haven't been really. I just barely kind of got back on YouTube. I haven't really been watching much content. Remember the good old days when who was me, me, you, Alton, Clay was there, Kevin, Mike, and now it's just me. It's just me almost talking to myself. Yeah, me too, man. It just ruined my whole day. Kind of messed up my week. Talk radio was kind of therapeutic as we worked through it, but it's like, man, Dak had such a good year. He was horrible in that game. The whole team was horrible. The defense was horrible. Coaching wasn't good. It was like, man, y'all picked the wrong day to have such a bad game. Now we're back to always next year. Cowboys do this to us too much. It's painful. It's painful. It's like we have a good regular season team, 12-5 the past 3 seasons, which is good. And just disappointing in the playoffs. And I'm like, this year it's different. We're the number 2 seed. We could have home field advantage unless we meet up with San Francisco. Who hosts that call? Is that on your channel, or who hosts it? What time is it? Sundays. I'll try to catch y'all on y'all's live. And who else in there? Was it you, Mike? Who's the guy? What's the guy's name? He's funny. That has gosh, he has a death pile that's massive. Yeah, Mike. Man, Mike is sharp. Clay's always talking about how he doesn't understand how more people don't listen to Mike, and I agree. Like Mike's last I heard, I'm assuming he still is crushing it on Walmart, and he was crushing it with electronics on eBay. What about you? Like what type of reselling are you doing? Are you still doing the same model, still hitting the bins, picking up a little bit of everything? Scott and Mike. Yeah, well, remember our podcast? What was it? The Reseller Roundtable. Pretty good. We had a good run. We did have a good run. Man, eBay is quiet today. Like it's been good all week, and usually Friday's a good day. I'm like, today's just been lagging. Mike's 5. Oh, so you're on Mike's channel, 5 your time. You're Pacific, so I think that's 3 my, I believe, Central. Bobby, yeah, that dude's funny. Giant death pile. I think the last time I watched, they were clowning on him, like talking about if his death pile falls on him, he's in trouble. Yeah, it seems like Bobby likes to, like a lot of us, he likes to source. But I keep my queue. It's usually no more than a couple of days. Like I think I got enough for tomorrow, maybe Monday, and then I'm gonna have to go sourcing again. Yeah, Mike definitely crushes it. 5 days a week. I like that. So any big sells recently? Any good sells? Any good finds? You looking for anything in particular, or just whatever you come across? Like, what are you listing per day? Do you have a goal, or you just kind of list whatever? I think we're making chicken fajitas for dinner. I'm starting to get a little closer. You start to get a little bit hungry. Like, what's for dinner? I'm gonna do chicken fajitas, black beans, make some homemade black beans and rice. Should be pretty good. Pretty good. Triple D. You made any dumpster diving videos? Or is that just kind of like in the past? Are you making regular content or y'all just doing lives? Yeah, Scott. Hey, I should check out their Sunday Night Live on gosh, what's Mike's channel? I can't think of it off the top of my head. Um, Scott said, yeah, he would never need to source again. Yeah, I got a massive death pile. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Lots of good finds, huh? So just a little bit of everything, or are you niched down at all, or you just whatever you see that's good? Like, give me an example. What's one of your better finds recently? Since I'm not a everything seller anymore, I have to live vicariously. My VCR bat electronic days are behind me. Scott says I've been selling a lot of Soda Stream bottles from the bins. Really? Okay. Like the ones where you make your own soda, like the machines. What you add? What the carbonated water, and it has. Does it have like a almost like is it like a Keurig or something? I don't even know how that works exactly. I know what you're talking about. I know my wife went with me last time we went sourcing last Sunday. Well, I've been sourcing since then, but when she came with me, while I was out scooping up clothes, she bought an Instapot for $20, and I think those are like 120 new, and it was clean. Of course, we came home and cleaned it up. tested it in the store, and it worked like a charm. And man, that thing, you can cook your food in there so fast. It's like ridiculous. So yeah, I used to sell like coffee makers, all those electronics, the appliances. There's some good money in there. Did not like shipping that stuff or or put in storage. Oh, it's talking about the dumpster diving, just doing lives. Yeah, lives are easy, but man, I lost what little audience I had. I'm starting back from scratch. I'm like, it's okay, Brian, just go with it. Just do it regularly. Like I need to pick a schedule. Maybe I do Friday lives, and um, maybe I can slowly rebuild a small community. I do miss that community. That was the thing about, like, I kind of quit YouTube for a long time. I was like, let me just focus on the business side. But now I've got where I'm efficient and I have time to make content. So I'm I'm pushing again to get monetized. I have the subscribers. I don't have the hours. The watch hours are going up, but I also want to build the live community like I used to have. I miss that. Yeah, Mike's channel's Flipping Goodies. Yeah, yeah, he's got some good videos. So Scott's killing it. Books and DVDs are killing it on Amazon. Man, I used to have an Amazon account. I was doing that. I don't know. I guess I lost access to my account. I think I just left it alone for too long. And I don't know. And now, last time I tried, I couldn't get back on Amazon. So I'm like, it's like I left it alone. But yeah, books and DVDs. Yep, that media. Mm. Yeah, make your own. But my own life. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to. But what I would like is like how we used to have it. Like I need to find somebody that resells that will regularly like co-host with me. Talking to my friend Josh, we're seeing if we can work it out. We did the last live a couple weeks ago, but he couldn't make it today. Clay doesn't resell, so that doesn't really work because Clay will get me sidetracked way too much. I mostly want to stick on topic. So for now, I'm just going to ride solo and try to build this from the ground up. Man, could use an eBay sell. But I have been making daily content on the published videos, which I've never done before. I'm not really spending time editing. I'm kind of doing like deep dives, more the analytical, the how-to stuff. Like today, I posted a video on whether you should do free returns or not on eBay. Trying to answer the questions that a lot of people have, especially beginners. Let's see. Pull up my analytics page. Manage videos. Well, looks like it's just you and me, Scott. I know you're out busy, and I'm kind of tired of just like I'm just rambling here. I don't know what else to add without questions. So thanks for dropping by, Scott. Thanks for anyone else, or if you catch this on the replay, we'll catch y'all on the next video. I'm out of here. Peace.